Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm guessing that your board exams are right around the corner and probably you're not scoring up to the mark in your pre-boards or preparatories or any of the preparing exams that your school is conducting. And you might be worried and might be stressing out that I'm not even able to score in my pre-boards or preparatories. How will I score in the actual board exam? If you are getting this kind of thoughts, then trust me guys, it's gonna be okay. Who am I to tell you this? I am a guy who failed in 3 subjects in his board exams, which was maths, science, and social, all the 3 major subjects. I failed in all these 3 subjects in my 10th pre-boards, and then I went on scoring 82% in my board exam. I know 82% is not a very high number, or I'm not telling you to aim at 82%, you should probably be aiming a lot higher than that, but I went from 3 subject failure to this 82% mark within a window of 1 month. So if you're, let's say, 60% or a 70%, then I bet you can easily go to 95, 96% if you follow this few tips that I have within 1 month, and you'll goddamn ace your board exams. Before I start giving you the tips, doesn't matter if you're writing your 10th board exam, doesn't matter if you're writing your 12th grade board exam, doesn't matter if you're in your degree or if you're in any grade, or even if you're working, you should listen to these tips, because following these tips changed my life and it might change yours as well. Starting off with tip number 1, it is the deep work. Now, what is deep work? Deep work is a window of time when you sit eliminating all the distractions. Your mom is not knocking on your door asking you to get something from the store, and your mobile is not open, there is no constant notifications hitting on your phone, you don't have to check your phone, your laptop is closed, your alarm clock is on silent mode, and there is no distractions at all, and you're just totally and utterly focused on what you're doing for a long period of time. The minimum time window for a successful deep work is 3 hours. 3 hours, you're sitting on your desk studying whichever subject you have selected, just that subject for 3 hours with no distractions at all, nobody calling you, and that is a complete deep work. Now, so many people will argue with me telling that Pomodoro technique, study for 45 minutes, take a break for 15 minutes, that is the most effective. Your brain will have a retention, you'll remember things better if you take constant breaks in between. All that is bullshit. Trust me, everything is bullshit. I have tried it, and probably you're using that too, and that is the reason you're probably getting 60-70%. All these toppers who get 97-98%, they're not following the Pomodoro technique. They are following the deep work propaganda. They might not be aware about the deep work thing, but they are following it. They'll sit in one place for 2-3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours long sometimes. I know one of my friend who sits 6 hours at a place studying, and that's how he manages to get 96, 97, 98%. And deep work is the most effective work. I bet none of you watching this video will actually go and implement the deep work strategy in their study table. I bet no one will do it because you're too lazy, you're too damn lazy, and you have to admit it, you have to face it. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why do you think all these so-called productivity gurus are promoting the Pomodoro technique so much? Where you study for 45 minutes and take a break of 15 minutes, or you study for 40 minutes, take a break of 20 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes studying and 30 minutes break, and they tell that it's the most effective thing to do, like it'll get all your things done on time and in the most effective way, in the most productive way. Why are they doing that? It is because by promoting this thing on you, by promoting the Pomodoro technique on you, they're asking you to download their apps in which you can record your progress, which is not actually progress. You can just record your timings when you start and when you end. And by promoting this method on you guys are actually going and downloading those apps which are being promoted. And once you download those apps, you are making money. You are giving money to the influencers. It is not for your benefit. It is for the influencers' benefit. It's for the so-called productivity gurus' benefits, and it's for the app makers' benefit. There is a book named as Deep Work. You can find it on Amazon or any local bookstore. It's pretty famous, and I would highly suggest you read it. Not right now, you can read it after your board exams are done. But yeah, I do highly recommend you read it, because in that book it is detailedly mentioned and totally summarized that why deep work is so effective and most effective method of getting things done, and how deep work can turn your productive life around. The second tip that I'm going to share with you guys is cut out social media usage. Cut out social media usage completely and totally from your life. Like, it is destroying you mentally, it is destroying you physically, it is destroying you socially. Your social life is messed up, your mental health is messed up, your physical health is messed up, just because you're using too much social media. I bet you watched 150 reels. I don't know how many reels you watched yesterday. And if you watched so many reels, just tell me 5 reels that you watched yesterday. 5 reels that you remember from yesterday. You can't. You can't even name 5 30-second videos that you just watched yesterday. How are you expecting your brain to remember a whole chapter of physics or social or whichever subject it is? How will your brain process and remember such a load of memory when your retention is ruining, when your attention span is ruining, when your memory is getting messed up every day due to the social media usage? It is not very evil when you look from outside the social media, but when you look inside deep into it, you'll realize that it is messed up and it is killing you from the inside. Be aware of how much time you give on the usage of social media. Even after your board exams are done, don't start using social media like you always did. Don't get addicted to it again. Be very monetary on how much time you're using social media and when are you using your social media, and be very careful about the time you spend on your phone using social media. I cannot emphasize more on this topic, but I just don't want to do it because the video will get too long and then your time will be wasted. I guess you're waiting to go and study for your exams. So let's get to the next point. Tip number 3 is clean your study table. I know it sounds very funny, but trust me, it is a very, very, very powerful thing. Clean your study table. The more tidy your environment is, the more tidy your brain will be, and the more tidy the work you do will be. Like, I know many of my friends whose study table is totally messed up, things fallen here and there, and they just have this much space just to keep one book and take notes. Like, I just can't do it. If my study table was so messed up, I can't even study for 10 minutes. I can't even work for 10 minutes. I don't know how you guys do it, but just try it once. Just try to clean your study table totally and keep as minimal things as possible on your study table, and you'll realize that you're starting to study better. You're getting more things done in lesser time. Tip number 4 is avoid group studies. I know this sounds very cliche, but avoid group studies, because you know it as well that there is no real studies happening in your group study call. You're just gossiping and talking. 50% of the time you're just doing this. You have to admit it. And you know it as well that you're actually not studying. You're actually not getting things done in the group study. All you do is gossip about that exam was beautiful, this exam was shitty, and I had to do better in this exam. My dad told me that, my mom told me this, my friend told me that, this teacher is bad, that teacher is good, and this is all happens in group study. Like, trust me, group studies aren't as effective as you think. It is cool and all. I know it's cool, you post a snap with you and your friends studying and talking and discussing things, but it is just for the snap. I mean, there are clearly exceptions for this group study thing, because I know few of my friends who do group study very effectively. They join on a Google Meet, they keep their mics off. I repeat, they keep their mics off and they keep their camera on. And why they keep their camera on? It is to monitor each other. They monitor each other and they look at each other studying constantly, and they themselves get motivated that he's still studying, which means I should not take a break yet. I should continue studying. And that guy sees him and he's still studying, and he'll be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't take a break as well. I should continue studying. And this is how they put up long hours of studying rallies without actually worrying about it. These types of group studies are really effective. But this type of group study which you're doing with your friends with the mic on and talking, that is not really effective, and trust me, I've done it and I've wasted a ton of time on it. Group studies are great if you want to do brainstorming sessions, or if you want to do rapid fire questions, and if you want to ask each other questions, discuss things, solve each other's doubts. It is great that way, but that does not work all the time. So you should be very clear with whom you're doing group study and for how long you're doing group study, because you're really not studying in the group study. Tip number 5 is plan your study day and plan your study week. I cannot emphasize more on this topic because this is very important, which students actually tend to miss a lot. They actually completely ignore this topic, because I was ignoring it and I still kind of ignore it. But whenever I have my main exams coming up, I follow this, I stick to this method very sincerely. That is planning your whole study week and your study day. You can use Google Calendars for this. You can just use your book. You can use your personal diary. You can use a calendar which is hanging on your wall. You can use anything, but please do plan your whole day and your whole week. Not everything which you'll be doing, but at least what you'll be studying on this day, on this time. What you'll be studying on this day, on this time. Because I can't tell you how important it is, because there are few subjects in which you're very good, there are few subjects which you're not very good at, there are few chapters which you haven't touched at all, you have to start from the scratch, and there are few chapters which you are very well versed with. So you have to plan accordingly. You have to use all these factors to your advantage. You have to see that which exam is first and which exam is last, which of your subjects are strong, which of your subjects are weak, and you have to use all this information to plan your whole week, to plan your whole day, and to use it to your advantage, and to make the best out of the whole week and the day. This way you'll also have a track of your progress. You'll also know that which are the chapters you're completing, which are the chapters you're not completing, which are the chapters which are left behind, which are the subjects you should be more focusing on, which are the subjects you should be focusing on lesser because you're good at it. And this sums up the whole point, I guess, because calendaring your whole week and your whole day is very important. Certainly the most important thing, I guess, no, the most important thing is quitting social media, because that is destructive. But probably the second most important thing which you have to do, that is calendaring. Well, those were the 5 golden tips that I used to change my academic life totally around. Wishing you all the best for whichever exams you're preparing for and whichever exams you'll be appearing, and I hope you ace all of your exams. Thank you for watching and see you soon.